In 1945, Europe was in tatters. Many of Europe's cities were in ruins. British Prime Minister Winston Churchill was one of several key figures who envisioned a united Europe to try and prevent the horrors of the Second World War from happening ever again. The eventual end result of this would become the European Union, a political and economic union which, as of 2013, now has 28 member states. But how does the EU work? And how is the EU run on a day-to-day basis? To understand the European Union, there are 7 institutions that you need to know. European Council. Firstly is the European Council. The role of the European Council is to negotiate any disputes between member states or the institutions, and to resolve political crises and disagreements over controversial issues or policies. The European Council also has the authority to ratify important documents such as treaties, and is the filer in the EU's policy agency and strategies. The European Council is headed by the President of the European Council, the President of the European Commission, as well as the head of state or government for each of the EU's 28 members. The European Council is based in Brussels. European Commission. The European Commission has the responsibility for the everyday running of the European Union, as this institution is responsible for drafting new legislation to be voted on in the European Parliament. Headed by the President of the European Commission, the European Commission operates as a cabinet with 28 members, one from each member state and each specialising in different areas of policy. As well as legislation, the European Commission is also tasked with negotiating international agreements and planning the budget. Like the European Council, the European Commission is located in Brussels. Council of the European Union. Also located in Brussels, the Council of the European Union forms one part of the EU's legislature. This institution is made of 28 government ministers, one from each member state, and depending on the policy being discussed, meet in very different compositions. The tasks associated with the Council are to formally conclude international agreements and to ensure coordination of the broad economic and social policy by setting out guidelines for the common foreign and social policy of the European Union. It also shares the responsibility of the budget, as well as the European Parliament. European Parliament. The European Parliament plays a large role in the European Union, as this is the legal body that votes on proposed legislation. As stated before, the European Parliament also shares the responsibility for managing the EU budget, as well as the Council of the European Union. There are 751 members of the European Parliament all across Europe, and they are elected every 5 years with EU-wide elections that use proportional representation voting system. In addition, the European Parliament has a president that acts as a speaker for the Parliament. Like the 3 previous institutions, the Parliament is located in Brussels. Court of Justice of the European Union. This institution is the checks and balances department of the European Union. Its role is to uphold the values of European law and has the power to decide legal disputes between member states, institutions, businesses and even individuals within the EU. This institution is not located in Brussels, but in Luxembourg. European Central Bank. Based in Frankfurt, the European Central Bank is responsible for the regulation of the euro, the world's second most traded currency. The European Central Bank, along with the national central banks, forms the European System of Central Banks, an organisation that determines the Eurozone's monetary policy. By controlling the money supply, this institution ensures price stability within the Eurozone. European Court of Auditors. Their job is to assess the success of the budget drafted by the European Commission and checks whether the budget has been implemented properly. Like the Court of Justice, the Court of Auditors is located in Luxembourg. This video was about explaining the European Union as a whole, and in part 2 of this series we're going to be talking about the future of the European Union, including some new potential members of the EU and one particular member who may want to leave the EU. But this is a story for another time.